Welcome to Blackstone Book Talks, a podcast featuring exclusive interviews from Blackstone's bookish network of authors, narrators, and special guests.
Hello, everyone. I am Chloe from Blackstone Publishing, and I am joined today by three incredible, best-selling, hard-hitting sci-fi and fantasy authors: Nicholas Sansbury Smith, the New York Times bestselling author of Helldiver's, and Rhett Bruno and Jaime Castle, the Audible #1 bestselling duo behind the Black Badge series. Both of you guys, or all three of you, have brand new releases out. Cold as Hell, look at that beautiful, beautiful hardcover. That's Rhett and Jamie's newest release, launched March 24th, blowing up the Amazon charts. And Nick's book, Helldiver's 9, is out today. You have one of those, Nick? Woo!
To be fair, we couldn't get a copy in time. That's impossible. So
to be fair, all my books are still packed. I just moved.
Yeah, it's not that we don't.
I don't have any of the other ones with me.
So look, oh my gosh, Nikki Hurlbert, Calvin Branson, Brian Cobb. Hello, everyone who's joining us. So today I'm going to leave in a second and let these guys take over. But before I go, we have two incredible giveaways going on. 5 lucky people who are joining in right now have the chance to win a Helldiver's prize pack containing a signed hardcover of Helldiver's 1, signed hardcover of Helldiver's 9, a Helldiver's t-shirt like the one Nick's wearing, one of the patches. Look at all this swag, bookmarks and postcards. 5 lucky winners. And the way you will be automatically entered is all these people who are joining in the chat. If you write a comment, tell us where you're joining in from in the world, ask a question for them, you'll be automatically entered to win. The other contest we have going is for a personalized cameo from Roger Clark, who voiced the audiobook for Cold as Hell. He's the voice behind Red Dead Redemption 2. And there's a link actually for you to enter that giveaway, valid for readers around the world. I'll put it into the chat. And that contest is going till the end of the month. So you have a chance to win that personalized cameo. So I'm going to hop off here. If you have questions for the authors, put it into the chat. And thank you guys so much for joining us today, and take it away.
Thanks, Chloe. And thanks, Rhett and Jamie, aka Steve, for joining me today for the launch of Helldiver's 9. I personally thought this was, at first, I forgot, but I thought this was a launch for this at one point in time, like a month ago. I was confused, but so this is technically like a second launch sort of for you guys, right? We can talk about Cold as Hell. We can talk about Helldiver's. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I know that Steve already has questions burning in his mind. And
listen, I just wanted to know if you'd ever been on, have you ever worked for Wheel of Fortune or?
I felt like Vanna.
You were pretty
Dude,
quick.
you were so Vanna White. It was perfect. That's your calling. I don't know about this writing thing. You're pretty good at it, but that was epic.
I could do it. I think I would need to maybe dye my hair a little bit or something. I'm getting kind of grays here, but no, I'm happy with writing for now. But thank you for noticing. I try to be prepared ahead of time with stuff, and I do have some more stuff that I'll show later for the Helldiver's fans. I'm excited about those 5 prize packages. They're pretty cool. So thanks again for joining me, Rhett. You're kind of.
I just found the first question.
Oh, cool. Okay.
In the chat.
Let's go.
Yeah. Helldiver's. It just clicked for me that we both have hell in our titles, and that blew my mind. So I was just sitting.
It just clicked, even though we titled this whole thing Cold as Helldiver's.
Never read that. It
was my idea. I was so proud of it. You didn't even know?
No, I didn't even know this.
I quit.
So we have to do Cold as Heck. That's a great idea.
Man, I don't. Can we start over? That was.
What's the Heck Jumpers or Heck Diapers? Are we talking about
Someone apparently said you'd release Helldivers for kids called Helldiver's, which is a great idea.
We talked about it. I can see on the cover with babies in diapers jumping or one.
Yeah, do the same art but have a big baby head and make it animated.
Yeah. When we first met, y'all remember when we first met, right? We first met in Vegas, 2018, if I'm not mistaken. and
in person, yeah.
In
Outside
person,
of the
right?
card room at the Bellagio.
And so from that point, we had a group chat, the three of us, called the Purgatory Jumpers. And that has since evolved. But I really let Nick think that I was going to write a series called Purgatory Jumpers. I had a book cover, I had everything. And so I think what was it? Heck
Jumpers.
Heck Jumpers. Or Heck Jumpers.
Yeah.
Let's all do a kid's book.
Hey, that's actually a cool idea.
That'd be kind of fun.
They're simple but complicated. I don't know.
Ask Jimmy Kimmel. There's like 7 words in his book.
I know.
Yeah. $17 billion. I want to.
We just need a celebrity to read it, and we'll be good to go.
I'm sure Blackstone could make that happen.
Yeah.
Could have Norman Reedus read it.
Yeah. What is he doing?
That's what we're really in here for, is to get our kids' book published.
Everyone support it.
All right. Listen, if you guys are in the chat here and you have questions, we'd love to answer.
We have a bunch.
Okay, cool. Let's pick one up then.
I think someone's asking me which of those Legos was my favorite to build. Technically, I built them with my wife, but I did 99% of the building. She was too slow at Legos. I was more well practiced than her. But it was so long ago. I don't remember anything but the frustration of losing pieces. But now that they're done, I've brought those between 3 houses. So
Brian Cobb asks a question that's actually pertaining to, the books.
Where are you seeing these?
In the chat on the right.
Oh, there's a Q&A section too.
So
yeah. I wonder if there's a way to kind of make these a little, like, I see so many, I can't keep track of them.
There used to be
they address them personally, maybe.
Well, here, listen. Brian Cobb says, so did you guys know that the notion of hell is cold goes way back? If you look at very early Christian art, the devil is often portrayed as blue. So I'm just going to answer that. I was a pastor for 14 years. Yes, that was part of the inspiration for the concept. Of course, we didn't cite anything like that, but there's a lot of long time theology stuff that you can find throughout the Black Badge series, hopefully not in any kind of preachy way, but it's nice to draw on things that you know of and insert them into fiction in a way that actually helps people to digest. So, Dante.
Yeah, and I just thought it was cool.
Freezing place. Yeah, Rhett just thought it was cool. I was like, hey, what if we made hell cold instead?
I was like, that's a great idea. Everyone makes it hot.
What's the next book after Cold as Hell? Vain Pursuits is the next book in the Cold as Hell series for us. That's book 2. That's where we're going. Nikolai, you've got 9 books in Cold as Hell. How many books are there? I mean, in the Helldivers. How many books are going to be in the Helldivers series?
Right now, I'm contracted for 10, and 10 is what the editor finished a couple weeks ago. I want to do more, so kind of waiting to see. I'd like to do at least 1 more to kind of wrap up the main storyline, maybe 2 more. It would take a really long book to wrap it up all in 1 more. And eventually I want to do a spinoff series that would focus on the lives of some of the younger, the heck jumpers, the babies. So there are several babies in story 1 that I named after Bray, the narrator. And then there's another baby. These are kind of spoilers. So if you guys haven't listened or read books.
1 sec, I have to let my dog in.
Okay. If you haven't listened to books 7, 8, and 9, don't pay attention to this, but there's another baby, is Rhino Jr.'s baby. And I think that would be a really cool grown-up baby, if that makes sense. Character, rather. So I'm seeing a lot of questions here.
Nick, somebody wants to know if you can explain, and I'm sorry if this is touchy, maybe, but who is Bella and why did you dedicate Helldivers 9?
I saw that and I already got down. So Bella was my dog, and I brought this down because I saw that question, and this was a reader actually sent this to me. She had it painted or drawn. Bella was my dog for 15 years, about. She was a Shih Tzu, Bichon, and she was my little rider buddy. She was always with me when I was writing and before. I mean, she passed away last November, and I dedicated Helldivers to her because it was really the Helldivers 9. I mean, it was really, I think, the first book that I finished where she wasn't there. But yeah, I know some people have reached out about it, and I appreciate all the kind words. I think everyone knows me knows how much Bella meant to me and does mean to me. So yeah, that's Bella. And then I guess, I'll talk about that real quick too, because I see another comment about dogs, and like everybody that knows me also knows how much I love dogs and how dogs are a very important part of all of my books. And I think some people probably think that I like dogs more than humans, which is probably true in most cases. But yeah, like dogs are they're so innocent, loyal, and they make great characters too. So I don't know if you guys really do animals a whole lot in your books, but I find them great additions to add as characters.
I think we can't fail to, right? Like we had our epic fantasy series.
Yeah.
We
always have.
Yeah, ACRE was a wyvern that was throughout that whole thing, and like ACRE was a heart piece to that series. And then the Lunar Missile Crisis has Hea, who is a dog.
Oh, and has the octopus.
Well, of course, yeah, the octopus, which is really an animal. It's kind of dog-like. And then, of course, Cold as Hell has Temperina, which is James Crowley's horse, which we hope came across his love for Temp. Came across. Rhett actually dedicated Cold as Hell to Raven, his dog, who was the inspiration for Temperina. And by that, I mean, this dude wrote everything Temperina because Rhett had this really close connection. I've always had dogs and cats. I love my animals. I had a cat that was 26 pounds, and he was more like a dog than anything. His name was Crookshanks, but we just called him Big, and he died several years ago. And that was one of the more heartbreaking moments of my life. But we've since gotten new animals and pets, and they're great. I mean,
I think we the only time I haven't done it is in like universes where I just like animals are extinct. Which
who wants to live in a world where animals are extinct?
Nobody. But
what do you eat
in the worlds where
joking? Sort of. I'm sort of joking.
Nick, do you have any tease for the next release of Helldivers minis you could give?
So I should probably show off some of my minis, but the thing is, none of these are actually in production. These are like ones I guess let me just show them off because I got a shelf here. So let's see here. I don't know if I'll be able to see them very well, but this is X and Miles. I don't know if you can see.
So cool.
Oh, can you see that?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so that one's not in production. The only ones that are in production right now is the Helldiver, and I don't have the version I'm selling on my website. I just have this massive dude. This is that one. So this is just like the normal generic one. And Chris Thompson, friend of mine, he did a lot of these actually, where he painted them for me. Actually, I think he did all of these.
Oh, he's the one who asked the question.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So Chris, I just have the ones you did for me. Basically, here's the octopus with Helldiver on top, and then this one is absolutely badass. I'm afraid I'm gonna break these. This has a siren and a Helldiver on top shooting, or on the bottom shooting it. I mean, he even got the muzzle flash in here. But all these were designed by a guy named Bruno out of Colombia, who's actually working on your guys's, or not Brazil, but he's working on your guys's. I need to get an update on that. But he did the design, and then I have 3D printers here, so I'm printing them. And there's been a lot of problems with like pieces breaking, so I've only released that one. But I also have here. Let me show you one more. So I think I have it. This is the next one that's coming out. It's Magnolia. Grab her by the head. Can you see it? This one hasn't been painted yet.
Did you paint the one of X?
No, I haven't painted them. My brother paints the ones.
Brother does. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
I even had an experiment one where I just did Miles. So
that's cool.
Yeah, but that was just an experiment. I don't have plans for that yet either. So kind of working on it, but it's like one of those projects, it's like can barely keep up with the rest of the stuff I got going on, let alone these things. But I do see comments about merch, and like basically everything on my website right now is what I have available. I do have the new HD9 hardcovers and everything up for sale. I've already sent out a ton of those, and then I got the new patch, the Barracuda patches, and Blackstone's doing their own giveaways, and they're selling those on their website too, or the hardcovers they are, and their paperbacks. So if you're interested in merch, check out nicholassansburysmith.com, the stores, or Blackstone's page. I can put those links in the comments for everybody. So yeah. See what else do we got here.
Sorry, I guess I was in the chat talking only with the hosts. Our wonderful Chloe sent me a message telling me to stop being stupid, and I felt like that was what was said. So I've answered the questions that I've been answering this whole time. So thank you, Chloe.
Well, you shouldn't have been so stupid.
Nick, do I need to get a 3D printer?
Well, I have two, and I told you I'd print those for you guys. But if you want,
but should I get one because it's fun?
Okay, here's the thing about it, dude. Everyone thinks, and I thought this too, that 3D printing is super easy. It's more like,
no, I know it's not. Yeah.
Put a hazmat suit on and get gloves, because you're gonna have to do a lot of stuff that's like. I
can hardly get my 2D printer to work properly. Add another dimension, it'll break every second.
Does yours create a lot of necessary like cleanup? Because like the one I used, I probably spent more time cleaning it up than printing it.
I don't know. I mean, if maybe Nathan's in the chat here. Nathan's the guy that does all this stuff for me. And from the way he explains it, like I've seen it before, but I haven't like seen the printers and how it works sort of, but I haven't seen like the whole process, but it sounds really messy. And again, like the designs themselves can be great, but then when you start printing them, you'll find little like flaws, like for example, on the sirens, the monsters, their spikes will break off, or like the finger on a gun will snap off. So it's tough, but I mean, if you want to spend a bunch of money and a bunch of time, go for it.
Well, for what I've learned from all my military friends is that if you just put the finger in the trigger housing, regardless of whether you're going to shoot or not, then it won't break off, right? Like that's trigger safety discipline, right?
On the outside of it?
No, I'm kidding. I'm saying it broke off because it was properly done.
Yeah, that's probably it. So
shove it in the housing.
We have the first winner to announce, by the way. So the first prize package goes to Nikki Hurlbert. Congratulations, Nikki. We will get you a prize package that consists of this t-shirt, not the one I'm wearing, unless you really want it. Yes. But
that's extra.
And then book and the other loot that comes with it. All righty.
Nick, I love Kevin O's question. Could you explain how you view the giant muscular glowing monster from the HD universe? It's one that he hasn't been able to visualize very well.
So I think he's talking about the Leviathan, or that's what they kind of the Cazadors have different names for it. But it's basically like a cross between a whale and an octopus, if you can visualize that. And like a lot of the monsters in these books, they glow because of whatever toxins or radiation.
Fish. I like that.
Yeah. So they're massive though. And I believe that one I think they came out in book 7 and then 8, maybe, or 9. Maybe it was 8 and 9. I can't remember, but I brought them back in book 10. So yeah, like a kraken. I see someone wrote kraken, or like kaiju. Is that how you say it? Kaiju? Yeah. So Brian Kopp says whale plus octopus. Basically, yeah. Basically.
You're such a wactopus. I'm gonna start calling you that from now on.
Yeah. They're one of many weird creatures that I don't really explain how they came into creation. They're just there. So I have a really
statue.
I have a really funny one that I wanted to share. So I guess I'll share it with you guys today. But one of my characters is named Jojo the Monkey. It's a mutated monkey that was discovered on an island by a Helldiver that was she was kicked out of the Vanguard Islands for a crime she committed. And this is a spoiler, so I'm not saying her name or anything, but basically she came across this baby monkey and raised it, and its name's Jojo. And I got to be honest, Jojo is named after my mother-in-law, Joellen, and Joellen was always asking me to be a character. She wanted to be a general or, like a colonel or something really important, but I decided to make her into this monkey. And I gave her a Helldiver t-shirt yesterday, and I'm waiting on a picture of her in the Helldiver t-shirt so we can get a realistic view of Jojo the Monkey for everyone to see. We'll see if it happens or not. But we also have Helldiver onesies. So I have my daughter Naomi in there. Or she's worn it several times. I got some pictures today. She actually really loves it. These things are super soft. So, and by the way, if you guys just want to buy a t-shirt, you can go to Blackstone's website. They're sold exclusively there.
Can you guys see the Q&A section?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see what's up in there.
I thought the picture, I saw an ad of you reading Helldivers 9 going or whatever. I actually laughed out loud because there's the author shocked.
I heard Dr. Strange read it.
What did you think?
Dr. Strange was reading Cold as Hell, apparently.
Yeah. That's true. There's a photo evidence.
I photoshopped very well.
So Calvin Branson asked, as we write series, do we have a set of number of books going in? Not contractually, but an idea of overall scope of series.
I know I always have a dream of writing 180 books in a series.
I know we typically plan 3-book arcs if we're going to do series. What about you, Nick?
Well, I think people sometimes, I don't know, I see a little bit of hate on this because some readers don't like series, but I think the thing to point out is series are how authors make a living right now. And part of that is because of the market and how Amazon has created this kind of rat race, right? You have to get stuff out fast, and you have to, standalones don't work unless, frankly, you're Andy Weir. I mean, for the most part, there's a few authors that do them still, like Jeremy Robinson, but he's even connecting his universes now. So back to the original question, I wrote about this in my reader note that Blackstone puts out for each of my books, for all their authors actually. And I said, when I first, Helldivers was going to be my first standalone. And then the way I ended it, I realized I knew readers were going to maybe be upset. And then I realized I was kind of upset. I wanted to keep writing more. So I had that series sold as 3, and then it did really, really well. We came back to it a couple years later, added couple more books. And then this world just has opened up for me in a way that I never thought possible. I had them on this one airship, and I was like, how am I going to write a whole book about people on one airship? And then I think it just kind of unfolded where not only do they dive down to the surface, but they go to the ocean, and then they go to other countries, Africa. Now they're in Australia now. So, I mean, I was worried about being constricted when now I'm anything but kind of the sky's the limit, right? Or space maybe is the limit.
You mean Australia?
Yeah, Australia. Yeah, Bray, I love it. Where he mispronounces stuff on purpose. I think it's pretty cool. I actually am going to address that in book 10 in a way that I think readers will find interesting. So I guess I shouldn't have waited till 10, but hey.
Well, I think there's a really good point to make here for our readers, both sides of this, is if you really enjoy a series, I know this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you really enjoy a series, the only way we can continue writing those series is if you tell people to read our books, because we sort of have to plan our lives according to where people are reading. And so for instance, with Cold as Hell, Rhett and I will write 30 Cold as Hell books if we have the readership to maintain 30 Cold as Hell books. We've got several arcs planned, and each one ends in a way that will be satisfying to the readers. But you sort of inform us whether or not we're going to be able to continue writing a series. And Helldivers has been the same way. We've talked with Nick over the years, and like the answer to the question is, hey, I'm at the end of such and such. Do I continue? The readership's always been there for Helldivers, and hopefully it will continue to be that way. But like with Cold as Hell, man, please tell people, go read it so that we can write the 4, 5, 6 that we have planned in our heads.
It's a great book. And the narrator too is just fantastic. It's like, you know, sometimes there's a narrator that seems to be perfect. I can't really think of many books that are as perfectly aligned with the narrator as Cold as Hell. So I think, and it's super unique too. It's just a cool book and a fantastic world that kind of, I think, should appeal to a lot of different readers.
Yeah, we had a great interview with a bookstore recently. Blackstone helped us get a launch at Fountain Bookstores there in Portland, and we had an online virtual sort of release, and it was really encouraging because the woman that was interviewing us was talking about how kind of female positive the books were and things of that nature. While meanwhile, Rhett and I, you know, there's always like, you always go through your head, like, who's this going to appeal to, right? Like every book we write, like, where's the readers, who is going to appeal to? And like Cold as Hell is like a really manly sort of book. Like it's manly. It's not, I'm going to use that sort of hot phrase. It's not like toxic masculinity or anything like that, but it's sort of written for men
it's a first person action adventure starring a man. Yeah.
Right. And so when she told me that, when she said that on air, I was like thrilled that she got that aspect of the books for us. Because it was a goal. We wanted to make sure that Rosa was not just sort of that refrigerator character that, you know, James saves all the time, that she's strong and powerful and has her own mind and all of that. And so it's always encouraging. We love, if you guys email us, like all of us love to hear your praise. If you have negative comments, there's an email called don't email us at blackstone.com. I think that's what it is, right? Don't. This hurts at blackstone.com. I'm kidding. I'm joking. We'll take all of it.
We got to announce the next winner.
Go.
Brian Sinks. Congratulations.
Nice.
You have won a Helldivers onesie.
Brian's awesome. Brian will fit in that onesie, I think. That would be great for him.
There's someone asked if there's any adult size ones.
I saw that. Yeah.
Cool. They snap below the diaper, and I mean, it's basically a onesie is a full outfit. It's like a suit. It's like a heck jumper suit, sort of. You guys have a bunch of questions. Rhett, can we direct a question here to Rhett? David Bidding, I believe is his name. You have entertained us with great tales of magic, Rhett. Do you yourself have any personal belief in magic or experiences of such?
Oh, I answered him in the chat.
Oh, you did? Okay, sorry.
No, not really. I like to write about it, but I'm pretty much a realist and not too into all that stuff. But I'd love to see it. I think if Rhett had any like real inkling into magic, all of us would have a lot more hair. That's my personal thought. I think that'd be the first thing we asked him to do was. But Steve, your hair is a hat that's attached. Oh shit.
Yeah. It all migrated.
It did. Gravity took it off your head.
Steve, someone asked us because Arthur Morgan narrated, if we have anyone in Cold as Hell who always has a plan.
If somebody who always says what? Oh, it always has a plan. Because Arthur Morgan did. Is that because his characters in Red Dead, is it referencing his story?
I think so, yeah. Because we don't really. He kind of is on a roller coaster all the time trying to figure out what's going on.
You're talking about James Crowley now, right?
Yeah.
James doesn't necessarily always have a plan. I think that's what makes the stories really fun, is it's very fast paced. So he's on the spot quite a bit, and there's no plan. There's the plan is survive the next 10 minutes. And we hope, James can't die, right? Like he can if hell takes him or whatever, but like there's a real challenge in allowing a character to live without being able to die mortally. And I say allow to live because, like, I don't know about you, Nick, but when we write these characters, at least when I write these characters, they dictate what they do. We have a plan, but man, our characters do what they want to do. And I think that a lot of readers might not recognize the depth of that. But, when we were writing the epic fantasy series that's behind Rhett right there, the Buried Goddess Saga, like I rolled dice when characters were in battles, and like our main characters could have died at any time. I did it D&D style. And, there was one time a character died that I wasn't expecting to die. And I sat in Starbucks literally crying because I knew that character needed to die. And I didn't think I could do it, but
Rhett, does he get a say in it? Or...
No, it was meant to be because I wanted him to die and Steve refused. And I mean, he had a roll, I think a 20, right?
His was a 20. It had to be
he was the hardest.
It was
person.
A 1 is what it was. It had to be a natural 1. He
was the hardest person to kill off, and I wanted to, and it actually the roll said we should, which was kind of cool. But yeah, because in that series we both took certain characters. There were times when he could roll and someone will die, or I would do something and we'd have to switch kind of everything based off of each other. It's a little different with Cold as Hell because it's first person, like he's telling the story. So, we have to keep it a little more structured, but yeah, we tend to kind of follow the personality of the character.
There's a lot of times where we'll write something and when you're co-writing, like it's great because you get instant feedback sort of from the person as they're reading a part that you wrote, which by the way, I'm going to say this live, all 3 of us, we're going to write a book together. Now it's permanent. We have to do it. But that said, like, I'll write something and Rhett will read it. And, he might respond to me, hey, this isn't what the character would do, or vice versa. I might say that to him. And like, you have to do what the character would do. And you got to know your characters to do that. So.
Yeah, we got another winner here. It's Tammy Godwin. And I believe Tammy already has HD9, or she should, because I just sent it to her, I believe. So maybe Tammy would prefer to have Cold as Hell. Could we send her Cold as Hell? Still do a t-shirt and everything, but I don't know, Chloe, if that's possible. I can talk to Tammy about it afterwards too, but just a real quick there. Oh, it looks like she can. So cool, Tammy. Let us know if that works for you. And I'm going to get on to a few more questions here because we are kind of running out. I don't know if we said this is going to go 45 minutes.
I have the rest of the day to talk.
Yeah, I have time. So it's fine.
I have a question here. I'm seeing a lot of, this is Layla. It's a question about Layla. She's a character in pretty much all the Helldivers books. Are we going to get Layla going back to badassery soon? This is from Nikki Hurlbut, by the way. I love how she puts the baby first, baby Bray, but also seems like she is just waiting for a chance to get back into the game. So great question. I feel like it's spoilers if I reveal this, but Layla, there is plans for Layla. And it's interesting to me to see so many comments about Layla because she's kind of a secondary character. I feel like she's one of those characters where people either really like her or really don't. Anyways, that is coming in the future, especially in book 9 and 10.
Steve, Kevin O wants to know our backgrounds.
Like
he knows about Nick's background.
So these are plantation shutters is what they are. The rest of my office is over there. My current background is really just the plantation shutters. That's what you meant, right? My background is I've been writing for.
Boo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I tried. I've been writing since at least 1999 is really the when I can remember writing my first almost book. I was one of those guys that had written 30 almost books by 2017. And then 2017 is when I finally finished a book. And then Rhett and I met very, very shortly after that. And we started a publishing company together. And so because our time is focused, it's kind of split between publishing books and writing books. He and I write together a lot. And so to kind of go into another person's question, I think David asked, Jamie, if I've never read your books, where should I start? It's an interesting question because I co-write a lot. I've got a series coming out that's my own standalone series, just Jamie Castle, military sci-fi. But right now, a lot of my books have been written with Rhett. I've got a superhero series that was written with a gentleman named CJ Fallon. And then I've got some lit RPG books written with Troy Osgood. My suggestion would be, depending on like your genre of choice, Cold as Hell is probably the best answer because it's what we're here to talk about. And it's our ongoing series. If you're looking for something that's finished, of course, you could read the Buried Goddess saga. If you're looking for something that's less of a like dive into 6 books and 1 million words, then the Luna Missile Crisis might be a good place to start. That's one book standalone. But of course, I'm always going to say Cold as Hell because that's the love of my life right now. So
yeah, another cool. The Missile Crisis one is another really cool. Well, that's a standalone you guys did.
Yeah.
And all of these books have done extremely well on Audible. You guys have seen a lot of success there. I think we both, all of us have seen our books transition into audio in a way we probably didn't ever think possible. At least for me, I remember audio was just kind of always like oh, cool. My books are going to be in audio, but that wasn't where my sales were at when I first started writing back in 2014, 15. It was all Kindle. And now it's like completely the opposite. It's interesting how many people are actually listening to it.
Rhett, do you want to tell me your background?
Oh, yeah, Jeff Parker just typed it, but yeah, I was an architect for like 5 years. And then when me and Steve had the idea to start Athon Books, we run Athon Books together, if you've heard of it. Nick actually does some editing and acquiring for us too. We both decided to leave our jobs and just start Athon Books, write full-time, publish full-time. So yeah, that's all we do now. So when do we read? Steve listens to a ton of audiobooks, and we read a lot of pieces of things for Athon Books all the time as we're working through projects.
And Nick, you mentioned, I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
No, go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to say, you mentioned like audio. I know when we started together, Rhett and I, 2017, 2018, like my dream was audio, like, cause I'm an audiobook listener, and Luke Daniels was a huge sort of, I don't know if inspiration is the right word, but like I really loved Luke Daniels and listened to everything that he read. And so when we had our Buried Goddess saga come out, like that was a stipulation for me. Like I needed Luke Daniels on that. And of course we got him. With Cold as Hell, you know, we had written Dead Acre together and didn't have the narrator in mind at the time. And I remember just saying to Rhett, like, I wish the dude from Red Dead Redemption 2 read. He was a narrator. And like Rhett got on Audible and like immediately found Roger Clark. Holy crap, he does. So that was kind of how we ended up with Roger. And then we got the joy of being able to actually write Cold as Hell for Roger. And we knew what he sounded like. And like, I think that's something that you probably pick up on a lot, Nick, is you know how R.C. Bray reads. Mm-hmm. And like with your other ones, with, you know, Ray Porter with Sons of War, like, you know how these guys read. And so it sort of sometimes informs your process to know what you want them to do and how you want them to do it. Do you agree with that or no?
Yeah, and I didn't used to ever think about that, but now I kind of do, just based off of how R.C. Bray narrates stuff and like how he just has such a unique style, and he brings a lot to the table that I didn't even think about, like the mispronunciations of different places, or just how many different voices he gives characters to. He's just really talented. But yeah, I just want to go back to real quick to Athon Press. You guys, I just found out yesterday that you guys are the top publisher of lit RPG in the world, right? Or
yeah, one of them probably.
If we look at the K-Lytics report,
yeah,
you know, yes. I mean, it's hard to answer that question, right? Because first of all, you don't want to answer that question publicly, but like at the same time, the numbers are there. And so, yeah, according to the latest polls, we're the #1 lit RPG seller in the world.
We'll start. I didn't mean to put you guys on the spot.
You didn't. It's just hard to answer that question.
Yeah, no, question proud of that. And I want to say congratulations because I mean, when I met Steve, I met Rhett before Steve, but when I met you guys, I mean, that was at a time too where I had no idea where my career was really going. And you guys have just, I can't believe the things you've accomplished and how many books you're publishing and how well they're doing. And your authors love you guys and your publishers you work with love you too. So just really cool. And I appreciate you guys being here today. And as I guess to share with my own readers, like Rhett and Steve are two of my really good friends in this business. And it's one of those businesses where you almost, it can be super lonely unless you network and talk to other people, because you're basically sitting at a desk writing by yourself. But it takes kind of a team of people to help support you when you're a self-published author, especially. And a lot of that is other authors. I'm fortunate to have a good network of author friends, and these two of my best. So, at any rate, I have a bunch of questions here to answer on Helldivers real quick. It is just FYI, it is out today. If you guys are joining now, Helldivers 9 is out and narrated by R.C. Bray. And I was reminded to announce that real quick. Also, our next winner is Mark Adams. He is the winner of a t-shirt, hardcover, patch, bookmark, all of these things are all super cool. There's a little note on the back of this, by the way, about Australia and kind of my thinking when I was writing it. But then real quick too, I have a question from Tammy. She's asked twice here. Sorry, Tammy. She asked, how do I come up with the monsters in the Helldiver books? Which is a fun question to answer, because initially the monsters in Helldivers, I tried to make them somewhat, you tried to use science like I did in my Extinction Cycle, but in some cases, there's absolutely nothing I can do to explain, like the Leviathan we were talking about earlier. So I guess my rule of thumb is I tried to think of the something that would scare me to the core. And then sometimes I sketch it out, or I look for images online that is similar to that, and then I put it down on paper. So like I have a process of coming up with monsters. I try to make them realistic as I can, and I try to go with something that is scary to myself. I don't know how you guys do it. Feel free to answer that.
Sorry, my dogs are screaming.
Your dog?
They're battling in the other room, so I had to mute myself.
Nick, do you like my patches?
Can't really see them. Oh yeah. You got a Team Wrangler and then a Shadow Squad. So
sorry, that's upside down.
Yeah. I love those. You guys,
you're not as good at showing off merch as he was.
Sorry, I'm not.
You're not being. Where's your black badge patch? Are you guys doing one of those? Are you doing it? Right?
We're doing
a coin. Yeah.
Oh, yep. Commemorative coins. How do we come up with monsters? I think they're generally the same idea there. With the Cold as Hell series, it's been interesting because our goal is to ground it in North America, although we're not calling it specific areas of, like, for instance, there's Dead Acre and Cold as Hell really kind of take place in Texas. I'm in Texas, but we never say it's in Texas. And then Vain Pursuits is going to take place in Louisiana, but like we never call them those things. But at the same time, we try our hardest to ground everything. Like all the monsters are mythological creatures from North America, because it's here, right? This is the Wild West, and we want to make sure that we're not pulling out like, kaiju, right? If there's no history of those things in the States, then we're trying our best not to pull them here. So with our other series, man, it was like you said, you want to keep them real and grounded. Sometimes you kind of find a picture online of something that just looks really awesome. Or, I've had artists draw something for us before, like with a series I haven't released yet, a fantasy series. I had an artist draw it, and then I just tried to describe it the best that I could. And so that's kind of our
yeah. And, it's different epic fantasy versus like a Western fantasy. We had to use a lot of classic epic fantasy villains and stuff for that.
Brian Cobb asked when the next Black Badge is coming out. May 2023, Vain Pursuits. it's available for pre-order if you want to make sure you don't forget.
And pre-orders really help support your authors, you guys, just so you know, especially in audio. Speaking of which, I need to do that for you guys.
I don't think we have book 2 up.
Yeah, audio's not up.
Not up yet? Okay, cool. There's a couple more. I have a bunch of unanswered questions here.
Go for it.
Let's see here. So this is from Calvin Branson. Do I ever write a character that I hate but love to hate? Because when I look at the Helldiver series, I absolutely abhor Captain Jordan still after his death. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of characters I do that. Some of them start out as bad and then end up being a hero. I have done that several times too. So those are the most interesting characters to write, I think, where they surprise you. And it goes back to the conversation we were having earlier about killing characters. I usually have a plan, but sometimes, that plan gets, something happens where I decide to go a different route. So that's one of the funnest, I think, personally, about the best things about being a writer is sometimes your muse just guides you in a certain way. And often, I will say this, I write the wrong thing in order to figure out what the right thing is. And it's a lot more work, but it turns out to be a lot better. And then next question is from TH Harris, is about patches. I get these questions all the time, so I want to answer this real quick. Will you please mention all the Team Diver patches? I have a few, but want to see which ones I'm missing. Right now, I'm pretty much out of everything except for the new Barracuda patches. We've had Raptor, we've had Wolf, we've had Phoenix, we've had Team Angel, we've had Team Wrangler, which I have one of those left, I believe. So yeah, we also did a new limited edition of Team Raptor. I think I might have some of those left, but I'll try to get more of those printed here in the future and put them up on my website or tell you guys about it. So just follow along my Facebook page. That's where I post those. And then
the eBay ones, right?
I do have that, but that's this is for the Helldiver series. I think he's asking about, or
right.
Don't know if that's and then one more thing here. Chloe said to answer, how many books will be in the Helldiver series? Well, again, I'm contracted for 10. I'd like to do more, kind of in limbo right now. I'm going to write a book 11. I'm just kind of waiting on that. I have it kind of outlined already. I finished book 10 a couple weeks ago. Team Jojo and Miles patch would be pretty cool, Chris. That is one I'll look into. Probably going with the Miles though. I don't if I want to wear the Jojo one. Anyways, all right. So you guys, there's a question here that I think you should answer. Kevin O asked, do paperback hardcover sales support you more than Kindle, or does it even out with printing costs? I feel like this is a very common question on like what format supports the author more. So you're the publisher, you guys. What do you think? It's
going to be different in a lot of different ways. I would say it's hard to answer that because like Black Badge, we've wanted through Blackstone, we've really wanted to push the physical copies. But like if we're answering from a publisher standpoint, ebook sales outdo print sales thousands to one. Right. And so
it depends on the type of publisher too.
That's what I'm saying. As far as our genres go, they're really digital genres. And so ebooks, Kindle Unlimited, like Black Badge is in Kindle Unlimited. We actually prefer when people read our books on Kindle Unlimited. Believe it or not, you make more money on KU than you do if somebody purchases the book. So a lot of times people go, I want to buy it so that I don't get it for free, but like we're getting paid. When you read that book on Kindle Unlimited, we're getting paid, and we're getting paid better, generally speaking, than a sale. So you want the real answer, buy all the formats, and that'll support us like
yeah, I mean, the answer is if you understand what publisher is what, like for an indie publisher, small press like us, digitals matters more. For one of the older traditional ones like a Tor, Orbit, the print versions look better for the author. So that's sort of the difference.
Yeah. I got to answer one more question here about patch. So James is asking if we pre-ordered HT9 through Amazon, is the patch still available? I have patches personally available, so reach out to me. I'm either selling those or I guess can figure out other ways to get them out to you. But the only way they were available through pre-order was if you did it through Blackstone's website. So you probably saw some ads. You might still be able to buy one off their website that has a patch with it as well. I'm not sure. Maybe Chloe can answer that. And then this is a really awesome question. So Joseph Oliski, sorry if I mispronounced that, but he asked, any thoughts on Helldiver's art book? And I've been working with Blackstone since like 2000, I think it was 2018, on a limited edition Helldiver's hardcover, which is going to be more of like a book with, it's going to be the story of book 1 and 2, but it's going to have pictures. It's going to display Helldivers, their gear. There's going to be some comic type art in it of sirens and other monsters. So we've been working on it for a really long time. There's also some artwork on the interior of the airship to kind of show what the different levels look like. I've seen a lot of this already, and it is fantastic. I think they're going to do, hopefully that will be out by this winter or this holiday season. I'm not sure if I'm going to be signing these or what, but they should be pretty freaking awesome. Blackstone does a great job of doing limited edition hardcovers like this. They've done several others that are really well made. I have a couple of my bookshelf, but we're kind of running out of time here. So I want to move on to other questions.
You have that Cold as Hell hardcover next to you?
I do, yeah.
Blackstone, first of all, let me say this. This isn't like I'm not just being nice for the sake of being nice. Like, we talked about Athon Books a lot, and I just want to say that like it's a testament to how much we respect Blackstone, that instead of sort of doing this on our own, we teamed up with Blackstone. Like, they have done a tremendous job with this series. Nick, can you take that jacket off? We're just talking about we're talking about how well they do hardcovers. And like, this isn't a limited edition or anything, but like they put sort of extra artwork there on the back. When you take the jacket off, there's special artwork on the back, like just a gorgeous hardcover.
Yeah. I didn't realize this was on there.
Yeah, it's a secret. We had it. And
wait, do I have one on mine on Helldivers?
Probably not.
We had 2 cover options made.
There's a picture of Jojo. You can't see it.
That's what happens when you get a couple of guys that are obsessed with art writing books. We always have multiple pieces of art for our books because we just love art too much. I'll write a book just because a cover looks cool.
He's not lying.
I'm not lying.
You. What else do we have, you guys? Looks like Chloe posted something for Cold as Hell. What is this? Is sorry, I'm get your okay. So there's a link to Cold as Hell. And again, this is probably my top recommendation for the year so far. I really think people that like Helldivers will enjoy it. There's monsters. It's super cool. Okay. All right. Well, we are nearing an hour here, and we were going to do 45 minutes. So that's pretty awesome to have you guys asking all these questions and just having this discussion with my 2 friends here. Fantastic authors, publishers, and just Steve's kind of wears about 1 million different hats. Rhett,
Steve that's confusing. I'm 2 people in one.
That's how many hats he wears. He's multi-personality.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys do everything you do. People ask me how I do everything I do, and I look at you guys, I'm like, I don't do anything compared to how many projects you guys have going on. There's Chloe. So
hey guys, popping on to wrap this up, and just TH Harris had a question for me. Can you tell us what patch is coming with Helldivers 9? So it is that, Nick, do you have one in front of you?
And I noticed we forgot to put the name on it, the team. I don't know how I forgot this, but it's the Barracuda team. So the Cazadors have it's like a special forces team, and they're called the Barracuda. So you got 2 little spears here, and then there are stars and the fish, and that's the logo of the Cazador Barracuda team. And they're Velcro backed too, which I love. Stick to you.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat and we'll email everyone after as well. If you order a physical copy of Helldivers 9 through blackstonepublishing.com, you get one of those sent to your house, which is pretty nifty.
So the deal's good then?
Still good. Well, there's a banner on the website. We'll take it down once they're all sold out.
Cool.
Well, thanks so much, Nick, Rhett, Jamie.
Thank you.
Nikki Hurlbert, Brian Sinks, Tammy Godwin, Mark Adams, and James Jordan, you are our 5 lucky Helldivers prize pack winners. Someone from Blackstone, probably myself, will be reaching out to you directly to get your shipping address. So be patient. In the next 24 hours, we'll get that information from you and get those into the mail soon. We had so many people joining us live on Facebook. This is incredible. Go buy Helldivers 9, go buy Cold as Hell, and support these incredible authors. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for listening to Blackstone Book Talks with Blackstone Publishing. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest bookish news from Blackstone, you can follow us on Instagram at Blackstone Publishing, on Twitter and Facebook at Blackstone Audio, or on our website at blackstonepublishing.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.